quick update. There is a big discussion out there if people need buyer's agents, if buyer's agents are going away. I tell you what, newsflash, buyer's agents will go nowhere. I'm very, very heavy on the listing side, but when I'm on the listing side, I personally do not care very much for a buyer being unrepresented. It makes for a very choppy transaction. It makes for a very uneducated buyer. And if the buyer is highly experienced, like an investor or so, and they do that 3 times a month, they're buying a house, wonderful. They can be unrepresented. They know by now what they're doing. But the regular end consumer buyer, if that is you, I'm speaking to you, feel free to call me. I'm heavy on the listing side, but I love my buyers. It's the same thing, just other way around. And you want to have someone in your corner answering all your questions. Last night at 9 o'clock I got a call. She's a former appraiser, so she should know how to run comms, how this business works. And she said all these numbers, it's just so confusing. Is not everything totally overpriced? And I'm like, no, the price of real estate is what someone likes to offer for it. If you think your value is 450, but the market says everything in your area just sells for 350, well, probably 350 is your price, no matter what you believe the house is worth. And when you're on the buyer side, if the house is listed for 450 and it sells for 450, it is not worth 350 just because it was worth 350 in 2020. Okay, 2020 is over. Make your peace with it is 2024. And also be warned, if interest rates keeps coming down, right now we are under 6%. If it keeps coming down, all of the buyers will come out of the woodwork, and competition will make our prices in Houston area come up again. It's just the nature of the thing. Also, when we have more buyers coming out of the woodwork, we will also have more inventory coming up. So right now, whatever we throw on the market will sell because there's limited inventories. Not every seller wants to sell right now. They're like, you know, they're limited buyers, but it's changing. Literally, the last week it already changed. And the more buyers are coming out, the more demand is there, the more sellers will also dare to put their house on the market. And I have a feeling we will have a very hot fall. We will have a very hot winter, not temperature wise. I'm talking about the real estate market. Hang in there with me. And it will be buzzing. So the more it will be buzzing, the more competition will be there, the more prices will come up. So we had a plateau for 2 years. That's why 2 years ago I sold a bunch of my real estate. I did not see appreciation, so I took my money out and put it in vehicles that appreciated my money better than real estate. And you know, usually all I do is real estate. So that was new for me, but it was okay. And now I believe it's just my personal crystal ball, no one can promise you, but I personally think if you buy right now and you pick a lender that let you rate swap, like they let you the next 2-3 years refinance for no charge to the lender, you only pay title policy. There's no way around that. But you don't pay the lender. Then you have the best of both worlds. You're buying in for an okay principal, and the value will come up when other houses sell with a bidding war and with multiple offer. It will bring up the overall pricing in your neighborhood, most likely. And then you could even refi not only into a better rate, but you also have more equity into your property. So that could be like a new car for you or whatever you can buy for $50,000-$60,000, maybe a vacation in Hawaii. That would be one of my picks. Okie dokie, that was my update to buyers. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to say one thing. Some people are like, oh, your buyer's agents will go away. I don't think so. And did you know, I didn't know till this morning, did you know that last year and this year there were most buyer's agents used ever? There's percentages of people buying with agents and with no agents, and it was the highest ever. So the more loan products are out there, the more negotiation is important. The more we are all online, everybody has access to everything, and it can be very confusing. And you need someone in your corner to guide you through the process. That's why when I'm on the listing side, I had it recently twice, and the seller said, Julia, you get double commission if the buyer is unrepresented. Why don't we pick that one? I'm like, because it's not the highest net proceeds for you as the seller. And also, I met the buyer at the open house, and she's iffy, she's scared. So I would not take the chances. So what did we do? We paired her up with a top agent in my brokerage, but it's totally separate. and that agent negotiated for the buyer, I negotiated for the seller. I only earned my commission on my side, otherwise I would have earned double, because I would have gotten the commission that usually the other side would have gotten. And I preferred not to do so, because that seller needed to sell, and it was a very solid transaction, very little renegotiation, and then we sold and the seller could pocket their net proceeds, and that was perfect for the seller. Double dipping is amazing, but very rare actually, and if so, we have to have a good conversation with the seller, that the seller actually knows what's going on, that the broker is over all of our transaction, nothing will be turn messy or so. But some sellers get the feeling maybe you're working not on my side, maybe you're working just to help the transaction through in general, and actually get a double paycheck. So we never want a seller feel like that, or even question our integrity and loyalty. So buyer's agents are going nowhere. Most buyer's agents used ever in transactions in the history of real estate, the changes, sorry for the yard guys, the changes in real estate are just that all the brokerage now have to educate the buyers. There's no more showing houses without a buyer's representation agreement. What helps the sellers, because not every Louis is just walking your property, but hopefully only pre-qualified solid buyers with their agents. You want them to be represented so they can actually write an offer, and everybody else will go to open houses. So I do believe those looky-loos, they will be busy in open houses, and everybody who is serious can open the door anyways with a buyer's agent. So if you're on the fence, hire a buyer's agent, be loyal so they can be loyal to you. It's not just a door opener or someone who writes up the offer. There is so much more, and we have a fallout rate of 25% of transactions that not see the closing table, and it is usually due to a buyer not being educated by a good agent and getting cold feet during the process, or losing financing, and there's an answer to both to avoid both. Also, most of the time the buyer is not paying for their buyer's agent. Most of the time it is covered by the seller's side, and if that is not the case, usually it is a marginal difference, and we can talk about how to handle that. And usually, like a good attorney, a good real estate agent is worth her or his money, in this case hers. Okay, you guys make it a wonderful day. Blessings from my pool. Have a good day. Bye.